currently, so we could be on at any moment now.
Lovely. And I've got Mike Pingel Photography.
No, like just my regular Facebook page, see. And now it's opening Zoom again. What is that about?
I don't know. And for some reason, it's taking me to your oh, there you are.
We're on live. Oh, hi. We were just
that's
discussing.
Lovely. Hi, everybody.
We were
doing
discussing.
Our technical. I'm
the problem with this stuff is
learning all this technical stuff. Oh my goodness. But I'm all in.
Share to a page. Yeah. Hi everybody. It's the Mike Pingel Show, and it's thank goodness I have so many technical people in my life that my whole technical team is wherever they are, and I'm trying to find the Mike Pingel Show so I can share it. Share now. Okay. I've shared it. Vanessa, have you shared it?
Share now. Okay, so I am now sharing it. So that means it's now going to my page, correct?
Yes, you just shared it. Yes.
Okay,
I just
lovely. How?
Oh my God.
I'm learning.
We're here on Facebook Live. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Mike Pingel to the Mike Pingel Show. Welcome. I'm sorry about the technical stuff. It's my first Zoom / Facebook kind of thing going on, and my other page was not allowing me to do. I guess it doesn't like that. I don't know. Anyway, that said, welcome to today. Today we have a guest, a beautiful guest, a wonderful guest. Her name is Vanessa Guile, who is I personally know. Let me say, she was my roommate. I'm not gonna lie, for many moons ago.
Some years ago.
So let me get through this. Don't be fooled by this heavenly face. She has dabbled in acting and in modeling, and as well a now accomplished meditation and life coach, a keynote speaker, a mindful expert, trainer, probably even a Jedi. I'm not really sure about that. We'll discuss that today. And in this crazy COVID-19 time, most of us are staying at home and social distancing. And I thought that she'd be a perfect first guest for this new quote unquote fourth season of mine, to talk about what is going on and what we can do to calm ourselves and help ourselves. And ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa.
Oh my goodness, Michael, thank you so very much. First off, it's just so great to see you. And thank you so much for having me on your show. It's just an honor. And yes, we have known each other for 20 some odd years now. And I just really want to acknowledge you for all the work that I know that you do. Remarkable publicist in your own right, marketing, photographer, etc. I may dote on you for a little bit, as I know at one time you were the publicist for Farrah Fawcett, if I may. And pardon?
And her assistant, mostly her assistant.
And mostly her assistant, yes. And I was there with this deep passion of yours with Charlie's Angels and all the shows and everything Hollywood. Guys, I was there the very first day that Michael got the first Charlie's Angels doll, and it was amazing. It was quite a moment that we had. We were jumping up and down. And then the movie.
I can't believe you didn't run. I can't believe you
Are you kidding? I loved it because you were like in the throes of your passion, right? And wasn't it like when the Charlie's Angels movie came out or something, like you did a little bit of work with that? Is that true or not? I heard through the grapevine.
A little bit of a consultant, yes, which are very more.
A little bit of a consultant, yeah. Michael, I remember you quoting actual episodes from memory. It was so cool. It was very cool. You love those people so much.
Everybody,
but it's beautiful. I always admire someone who digs deep in their passion, and you have, and you're very good at what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A little bit too much, but we're not here about talking about me. We're talking about you.
Okay.
You.
All right.
And yes. Let's talk about what got you into this field. I mean, I knew you, in our younger years when we were young and cute, running around to all the fun Hollywood spots. And now what took you on this path to get where you are today?
Well, Michael, I mean, you've known me for a long time. You know everything about me. I grew up in a family where there was, drug addiction and alcoholism, and but they were also very accomplished people, family of doctors as well. As a little girl, when there was a lot of stuff going on in the house, I was, and I have a quick technical question. Do I look at you here on the screen, or do I look at the green?
Oh, in the green.
I look at the green.
You're looking out of the world, yes.
Okay, got it. There we go. So thank you. When I was a little girl, I always had a desire and a need to find a better way to communicate, a better way to be. I knew that the chaos that was happening in the house wasn't necessarily what was right. So my mother's second husband was a very accomplished doctor. However, to the level that he was an accomplished doctor was also to the level he was somewhat of the Antichrist in the house.
Oh my.
So I was, as I know you know, we've shared many stories. And so I was determined to learn a different way. And I, as a little girl, really began to seek that out as I grew older as well, just the deep studies on that. So many books, so many readings. I'm so grateful for all of my teachers through the years. A definite shout out to Azim Khamisa. His TED Talk has reached over about 1 million people. He has been honored by the United Nations. He has spoken there. The Dalai Lama has honored him. And I was graced with being able to travel and work with him. Definitely something to Google, Azim Khamisa, his story with the Tariq Khamisa Foundation, all about forgiveness and meditation practice and so on and so forth. So yeah, it started from when I was a kid. Like, how can we do this a little different than what's occurring?
And so what kind of training what did you immerse yourself into?
Yeah, how did it start? So I began my Zen training in about 20 years ago now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, in 2000 at Loyola University. And from there continued on. Zen is a form of practice. I'm Christian based. However, none of this is about religion. Let me make it very clear. The mind training of the mind, you can know all your Bible verses. You can know all of if you're Muslim, Quran, you can know the Old Testament. If you're Jewish, it doesn't matter. If your mind is going 1,000,000 miles an hour in fear and in anxiety and stress, you're not going to know those verses. You're not going to be being those verses. So how do you calm the mind in order to be the spiritual practice that we actually are? So the Zen practice and learning that really is the technique of the breath, present moment on the inhalation, and present moment on the exhalation. That's Zen. Then there are other forms of practice as well. John Kabat-Zinn, another person, that's actually his name. He has a technique where you inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the Ujjayi breath in yoga. I'm also yoga certified. I'm a mindfulness trainer, certified, all of that. So there's different modalities and techniques that I've studied through the years to not only just know the vast array of the different religions that are on the planet, because we're in a global community now. However, the mind technique of it. So my degree is in international religious studies and also corporate communications and public affairs. And I thought that we were in a global village. So if I was going to be doing business with someone in, let's say in the Middle East, well, it's probably a good idea for me to know who Muhammad is. Or if I'm going to be doing some business with someone that was funny. If I'm going to be doing business with someone in Japan, the Shinto practice, there's so many different practices, all of which was focused in on calming the mind. How do you calm the mind to present time and the awareness therein, and tapping into that? Because no matter what religion, no matter what culture, everyone on the planet is only living right here, right now, in this present moment.
Absolutely. And where do you practice? Where are you located?
I am located here in Dallas, Texas. And I do various workshops. I'm contracted out. I was recently contracted by the Meyerson for the symphony. Again, that was on a contractual basis. I had the honor of being able to be there twice a week and to teach mindfulness practice to the musicians there, and or also on corporate arenas as well. Alchemy, for example, is a digital banking company, one of the leading in the nation. And I had the honor of being able to be there, teach their marketing team, how to de-stress in the middle of the corporate day. And I have other clients as well that I've been very blessed to work with. And this transitional phase right now of having to shift everything online, because when you are teaching, I'm teaching in front of a group of people. So I've been having to utilize my own mindfulness skills, as you could just just see just then, okay, this technical, what do I hit, what button, where, and how, and but it's essential for me to learn these things right now in order to provide the information, in order to be able to provide the classes. I'm still on a learning curve on the technical aspect. However, I'm working as fast as I can to be able to give that out to as many people as possible. I'm the teacher for this because I'm also the student of this and have been for many years. May I always remain teachable, and may I always remain a student. I hope I never ever arrive, but who does in life? Life is always an ongoing journey of learning and journeying through. Like, look at what we're journeying through right now, right? Yeah.
That said, hi everybody on Facebook. If you have questions for Vanessa, feel free to type them into the the text in the bottom or the comments. Please like, and please also share it with all your friends, because we're going to go into. I have some questions for Vanessa, and I'm sure you do, and I will incorporate some of your questions at the end of the interview if we haven't hit them. So Vanessa, today is a very fearful time in all our lives. How can we lessen the fear during this time? What are your tips on that?
Well, for certain, as it's already been mentioned, right? The stories of the mind. What do I mean by the stories of the mind? So let's say you're watching the news and all of a sudden on the inside, you're thinking, what about my family, my health, my kids, the finances? What about work? What about life? What about this? What about, I have to stay home all day? What do you mean? Everything starts in the thinking mind, and becoming aware of that dialogue when it's occurring, as it's occurring, because sometimes it's so automatic, right? You're in a story of the mind and you're thinking about it, and oh my God, and your heart is fluttering and your cortisol levels are shooting straight up because you're not breathing, because you're in a state of slight panic, by the way. Mm-hmm. And all that's happening is that you're sitting on your sofa in your living room.
Yeah, me today. Go ahead.
Right? Got it. And if you're not aware of the practice of recognizing, okay, am I listening to the stories of my mind? Or where am I just right now, right here in this present moment? Like right now, Michael, you're in your place in Los Angeles. I'm in my place in Dallas, Texas. We're on the computer. And that's the only thing that is occurring in our life. I'm not taking away from the fact that out there in the world, there is the virus happening. There's a lot going on. I got that. I'm not taking away from that.
Yeah.
What I'm pointing toward is in our own individual life, where I am right here, right now, I'm okay. And you're okay. And if there's anyone watching this right now, you're sitting in front of your computer. And if you have a computer, beautiful, blessed, amazing person, that means that more than likely you have a home. You may have even had coffee today. I mean, with a computer, think about it. You know how many people were displaced in the war? There were people like you and I. There's no home. Yeah. They're living in tents, millions of them, tent cities. So right now, like I had mentioned, if you're watching this, you have a computer, you have a home, more than likely you have clean clothes, you have food in the fridge, perhaps even a car outside with gas in it, even though you haven't been driving it anywhere lately, right?
Sure.
You've got one. So it's that practice of recognizing, where am I really? Really? I remember with Hurricane Katrina, okay, yeah, I've had all this training and hours worth of sitting in mindfulness practice. You know, there's this thing called Vipassana. You go for 10 days in a row, 10 days, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night, straight sit, no talking, speaking, not the speaking, writing, nothing, 3 times. And go to my website. You'll see, okay, this is all the training. That's great. The real training was Hurricane Katrina and my whole city being gone. And with the loving respect due to my mother's death due to alcoholism, and seeing her demise, right? And how do you be with tragedy and loss one moment at a time and not let it consume your mind? The terror I had with Hurricane Katrina when my mom was alive, I didn't know if my parents were alive for 2 weeks or not. I had no idea. And for those 2 weeks to just be with it, what's the next right thing to do? What's the next right thing to do? You even sent me a box of clothes to Baton Rouge. You remember that, Michael?
And I did do that.
Right? And so right now we are all experiencing an immense Hurricane Katrina, to say the least, right? However, virus or no virus, I do not know my destiny with my date of death with God. I could still be dead tonight. If I go for a walk, of course, practicing my social distancing, right?
Yes.
Go for a walk across the street. And what if a car hits me? We're all going back to the Creator, all of us. I just don't know when. So between now and then, do I want to be totally stressed out or terrified? Or do I want to handle my mind, my emotions to the best of my ability? We're not machines, of course. You're going to have a moment. I've had a moment of crying. I've had a moment of, oh, and then you come back to presence, come back to the breath. Like Eckhart Tolle, if you guys don't know about Eckhart Tolle, he wrote The Power of Now, Awaken to a New Earth, several books. He is like completely enlightened. His mind is only in the present time continuum. Byron Katie, present time continuum. She has this process called the work, which is actually very helpful for dissecting the stories of the mind. It's kind of like a how-to, if you will. 4 questions and a turnaround. People like you and I, we're not just in a state of presence. We have to really work on it. The mind will go to the past. The mind will go to the future. The mind will go to the fear. The mind will go to the anxiety or loss. And then training the mind to come right back, right here, right now. And the portal for that is your breath. Deep breath, if you would, with me. 1, 2, 3, just an inhale. Top of the head, inhale. Neck, shoulders, arms, torso, chest, all the way down your vertebra, throughout your hip area, down your legs to the bottom of your feet. Exhale. And inhale again. Inhale, top of the head, eyes, nose, mouth, neck. You can even bring your shoulders up to your ears. Roll the shoulders back, up and back, around, opening your heart space. Presencing, inhaling all the way throughout the upper torso, hip area, down the back, down the legs, down to the bottom of the feet. And one more time, if you would, Michael. Inhaling deeply throughout the mind, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the neck, the torso, down the arms, shoulders, hands, heart, lungs, liver, large and small intestines. You can even place your right hand over your heart and your left over your right, breathing right into your heart space, centering yourself right here. An oxygenated heart sends a powerful frequency to the brain, telling the brain that everything is okay. But the brain will not know that if you're not breathing. And the heart won't send that signal if you're not breathing. It's a very simple technique. You don't need to be singing Kumbaya in a crazy pose or flying off the ceiling to, get present. It's really simple.
So if someone's feeling fearful or things are going really wacky, they should just stop.
Yes.
Breathe in.
Very good. Absolutely.
And how, is there a certain amount of time, or is it when you feel more centered that you can go, okay, I can stop?
Excellent. Okay, that's a great question. So it's a 3-tier process, right? You can meditate for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, up to 2 hours, right? In a practice in the morning. And actually your whole day is the meditation practice. Your whole day, because you're never not in the present moment throughout the day. Do you see what I'm pointing at? Okay. Absolutely. So the training of the mind, it's great just to start with 5 minutes. So let's say you're going along in the day and you feel that panic. More than likely you are attached to some thought in your mind. Oh, that person's doing that thing, or oh, they just sneezed, or oh my gosh, or my finances, or oh, the family member, or oh, my lover who's betrayed me,
That
whatever
happened
it
to me.
is.
Let me just jump in. That happened to
Yeah.
me. So what I did was I stopped
Yeah.
and I just put my headset on. I just listened to music to try to just center myself.
Okay, beautiful. Would you share
That's
with
what
me like what happened, and I'll take you like what happened?
I was just one. Yeah, I probably watched too much morning news today,
Mhm.
and you know, just things are going on and working, and then you know, as you said, financial, and you're like, okay, what? And I got to a point where it was like, okay,
Overload.
okay, I have to change this. I have to change this right now. I have to change. So I grabbed my headset and put one of my favorite music on, and I just was like, so danced around the room, and everything just kind of faded away, and I became more centered about where I was, what I was doing, and not worrying about all of the exterior that was happening. That was happening in my brain. Nothing was hitting me, nothing, but it was all up here, and I was like, okay, you got to stop.
Bingo. That's it. That's it right there. And you said the word worrying. Worrying is praying for the very thing that you don't want. Let me repeat that. Worrying is praying for the very thing you don't want. And what you did was awesome, because it's the power to choose. There's a wonderful story out of the Native American culture, Native American Indian culture, of the two wolves. This is the shortened version. There's a wolf of fear on one side, and there's a wolf of faith on the other side. Which wolf are you going to feed? And as a culture, as a human race, we're not human doings. We're human beings. Deep breath. I'm a human being. And the majority of us have forgotten how to detach from this incessant thinking mind. And so what you did there is that you interrupted the synaptic responses in the brain, being in the part of the amygdala, fight or flight, fear. Let me tell you something. It's important to watch the news. Yes, we need to get our information, etc. And take a break. That constant fear, false evidence appearing real. Don't get me wrong. There are facts that are going on out there. I got that. However, if I'm in fear in my mind, that's all I'm going to see. Even if I'm just sitting in the living room of my house and I'm perfectly healthy right now and I'm perfectly okay right now, knock on wood, thank you, God.
Yeah.
So you did a fantastic job. You recognized, whoa, I'm listening to the stories of my mind. It doesn't feel good. Why would you listen to a friend of yours talk to you that way? No. So why do we listen to this negative chit chatter? It's not your fault. It's like the programming that happens, right? You're a beautiful human being. You're a spirit, a light, amazing human soul, right? And there's a program on the mind filled with fear. For those that I'm in recovery, I've been for a long time, 12-step programs, very helpful. I personally don't drink. I don't do any drugs. I do drink coffee and tea, right? And that process of awakening, of altering the consciousness into something greater than myself, rather than pulling for a drink. Let me tell you, that drink worked. Woo! My mind was going. Good times, bad times, folks. I'm from New Orleans. I'm half American, half Norwegian, but I was born in New Orleans, and I am my mother's daughter. And you want to know the irony of this? Just on a side note, my grandfather was knighted by the king in Norway for his works with hospitals and building hospitals for addicts and alcoholics. He also was a part of the underground in World War II. And I won't go into all of this, but fought for, by the way, all those that are in the Jewish community, happy Passover, blessings, honor of Passover, for all of us together. He fought in the war against all of those atrocities, right? So there he is. He is a psychiatrist. He's been knighted by a king. He's a doctor. He's built hospitals for addicts and alcoholics. And yet his daughter, my mother, died an alcoholic.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter if you have your family members telling the addict and the alcoholic that they have a problem. That has to come from the inside. I had to make a choice. I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do, and just like you, right there and then, you made a choice. I don't want to feel this anymore. I want to do something different. I'm going to change the radio station. That is so powerful. That is what makes any human being great. Because just like Viktor Frankl said, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, folks, if you all have not read this book, you need to read it. Man's Search for Meaning. Dr. Viktor Frankl, he was in all the concentration camps, Dachau and Auschwitz. He lost his whole family, everything. And yet in here, he has many powerful quotes, you know, that life can take, this isn't verbatim, but it's something to the effect that life can take everything away from you, everything, but your power to choose. And so mindfulness practice, I really don't like the term mindfulness actually, because our minds are already full. I actually err more toward Eckhart Tolle's philosophy of presence, presencing the mind. Like right now we're having this very cool conversation and this is what's occurring. And gone unchecked, the mind can go over to, oh, well, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? Or, oh, what's that thing I got to do? Or, oh, and that's when we go unconscious, but that's not your fault. But we all know this. Like, for example, when you're at a cocktail party and you're speaking to someone and you're like engaged and you want to say hi, but they're not paying attention to you. They're looking over your shoulder or they're thinking about something else, or they're kind of like, oh yeah, hi. Yeah, hey. You know when they're not present with you. Children know when parents aren't present with their kids. They're on their phone. Oh, yeah. I'm with you, kid. Yeah, I got it. I know. Dinner, it's coming up. Sure. That's called unconscious. That's called a parent not being present with their children. That's called a person at a cocktail party not being present with the miracle of the person. It's a human being that's in front of them. And it's not their fault, because they're caught up in the story of the mind. What about that person? Oh, I need to go talk to him. Oh, I need to go do this. I need to, you know. And one of the things that's really amazing about this time right now, though it's difficult, it's making everyone stop and really reassess. What are the stories of the mind we're listening to? How are we being in our families? How are we being in our work environments? You work so hard for what? Don't get me wrong. We all need to live. We all need to, you know, let me tell you, nothing wrong with having a mansion, nothing wrong with doing well, nothing wrong with having money, nothing wrong with it. However, there isn't a U-Haul behind a hearse, last I checked. And I grew up in all of that stuff. And I know a lot of people who have all that stuff and are more miserable than they were before they had it. So it's finding the balance, because the only wealth, the only truth of life is presence. And when you present your mind, you present your heart, you present your soul, you then can be present in front of that person that's with you at the cocktail party. Or you can be present with your children that best hold on to those little sacred moments, because one minute they're 1 and next minute they're 24. Exactly. And you missed it because you were on the phone or you were stressed out or drunk. God love my mom. How much did she miss? Not her fault. The disease of addiction, that's a spirit. I really believe it. You know, they call the alcohol spirits for a reason. That's a spirit that came in and overrode her system. All the things that were missed and things that happened wasn't her fault. It overrode the system. And there are people that awaken to that spirit and people that don't. Either way, it's beautiful in the sense of just finding love and compassion.
And what about those people out there who are addicted? What advice do you have them, because they're going through, I mean, hopefully they're doing their steps but what advice do you have someone who is going through some addiction? I mean, food is mine and I've curbed that already, but I mean, there's other people who have addictions that they can't.
Sure. No, I got it. I can only speak from my own experience. To be absolutely honest with yourself about what it is. Let's call out the addictions right now. There's alcohol, there's drug, cocaine, food, gambling, sex, shopping online, incessant. I mean, y'all pick the poison, right? And we know, each person knows when there's something that's gone a little awry. Like I know for myself, I got to this point, I was very fortunate. I didn't have to go into rehab. I didn't get a DUI, a DWI, knock on wood. Why? I have no idea, Michael. You know, I used to like to drive really fast. And, you know, why that didn't happen for me, I thank you, God, for today. I had that awakening, like, you know what, Vanessa? Maybe it's not a good idea for you to do this anymore. Is
Yeah.
that helping you? It takes away the pain in that first hour. Woo, nothing like a nice, right? But then after that first hour, it opened up Pandora's box. And then I wasn't present in my life. I was under the demise of that spirit, if you will, that drink, if you will. So whether a person is grappling with a drink or a drug or with whatever the problem is, be gentle on yourself and recognize, wow, okay, I need to look at this. Maybe this isn't conducive for me anymore. But to be gentle on yourself, because life is difficult, right? In a way, thank God my mom did drink. Listen, she was married to a very brutal man. Thank God. It helped her. I think if she hadn't drank, she may have killed herself. It helped anesthetize the pain of what was going on. That's an extreme example, right? So anesthetizing and soothing the soul in the midst of the difficulty of life. I get that. I get that. But sometimes these tools for soothing the soul, drugs, food, alcohol, whatever it might be, go awry and it no longer serves us and it actually becomes harmful. If I'm drinking and driving, that's a harmful act for myself and for anyone that was a passenger in my car. And thank God I had the awakening, better not do this anymore before anything bad did happen. I mean, there are people that never had the awakening, never had the awakening. So really it is that process, Michael, of a person just being rigorously honest with themselves, gently, and then going, okay, what do I need to do to alter it? And if you are in need of help, and that group, any 12-step program is fantastic. Find what works. Pardon me, find what works for you. I know for me, the Al-Anon side was fantastic with helping with my mother. You Google all of these things.
Yeah.
We are a wealth of information now, thank God. And I've already mentioned it, but most importantly, be gentle, because when you actually have an awakening on a character defect that no longer serves you, or a way of being, if you will, that no longer serves you, that's a miracle.
It is.
That's a miracle. It's grace. Because then you have the opportunity to do something different. So my mother's an alcoholic, but her daughter is not drinking today, just for today, for many years, one day at a time. That's a miracle.
That is a miracle. And those of you out there, if you do have addiction issues that you need to talk to, go online, call your sheriff's department. They all have numbers for you to help out if you need to talk to somebody. And especially during this time when we're all stuck in the house, and if you need to talk to somebody, there are a lot of people out there ready and willing to, just chat with you on the phone and help you through that. So be with yourself and then call somebody to help you. So many other things we need to talk about, Miss Vanessa. What other techniques can you share with us to kind of center ourselves,
Sure.
other than breathing, some other great things?
Okay. So I'm going to go on a spiritual aspect right now. And that spiritual aspect is with whatever you call your higher power. Christ, Allah, Shiva. These are the term from India, right? If you're atheist, just your higher levels of consciousness, your gut that tells you to go right rather than left, right? To tap in, think about it for a second, Michael. Here we are, the miracle of life. The fact that we have even been born is a miracle. It's a miracle. Do I understand all of this world? Absolutely not. All of the miracles that happen in this world right now. Babies are being born, flowers are blossoming, the sun is in the sky, it's going to go down, the moon is going to go up tonight, and we're following the sun on this planet, which is this huge comet zooming across the sky at 1 billion miles an hour across the Milky Way, and all the planets are following behind the sun, and yet you're sitting in your living room and I'm sitting in mine, and we're still well, yeah, we can't leave. Do I understand the sacred geometry in that and how all of that works? Heck to the no, I do not. Is there something there? I mean, really?
It's not my papers to say you do.
Hey, there is a tremendous force of love. There isn't one person on the planet that does not want to feel love or feel a part of. And when we tap into that with whatever that is for you, it's vitally important because this life has been given to us. We get to be here. I get to have this conversation with you. I get to be in this breath with you. You know, to take an interesting point, you know, our Milky Way that is above our sky, how many stars are in there? Do you know that the nearest galaxy is Andromeda? And it's something like 2.1 million light years away. It's 2.1 or 1.2, one or the other, million light years away. Do you know how many galaxies are in the cosmos? They go on and on and on ad infinitum. So when we tap in with the breath, you can utilize the spiritual aspect, if you have one, to tap into that thing that is greater than you. I can't, God can. I think I need to let him, her, it, do whatever it's going to do. Help me out, that inner gut, that gut feeling. We all have that. You know that feeling when all of a sudden you're going through life and you feel like you need to go right rather than left out of nowhere. Or what about you think about someone and all of a sudden they call you and you hadn't thought about them in years? Yeah. There's a connectivity. There's a connectivity with all of our humanity. We're all in this life, as I had mentioned earlier. Everybody on the planet, even the ones that are sleeping right now, we're all in this life together in this present moment that's been granted by something, the miracle called life. Yep. That higher energy, that inner energy, that spark of the light that is within us all. All of us matter. All of us count. So it really is that practice as well. If you choose to incorporate that, for those that don't believe, that's fine too. I'm just adding this element in because I know for me, it's been very important for me to tap into something deeper than myself, greater than myself, and powerful. Now, of course, when I go into the corporate arenas, I keep it very generic. I keep it scientific based. What happens with the breathing technique, getting out of the amygdala, going to the prefrontal cortex of the mind. That's really where you want to come from in your thinking and your consciousness, because your prefrontal cortex is equanimous. It's kind of like being the eye of the hurricane. You know, the eye of the hurricane is at peace, but the hurricane's a hot mess. So your prefrontal cortex is a place of being at peace, making choices rather than reactions from the amygdala. And again, how do you get there? But through the breath, centering. And it's the threefold part: centering into the breath, becoming aware of your body. Why is that? Because your body only resides in the present moment. Your heart only beats in the present moment. Your blood is only flowing in the present moment. The synaptic responses in the brain are only occurring in this here now present moment, right? And then the third part is bringing your awareness, even right now, just talking about it. Isn't it cool? Doesn't it feel cool? Presence. Right here, I'm here with you, Michael. My long friend, standing friend, for how many years? And right here, we're present with each other. So it's threefold. It's the breath, which helps calm everything, into the body, top of the head, neck, shoulders, arms, torso, chest, grounding into the body because the body is only present, and then bringing the conscious awareness into this here now at 5:40 Central Standard Time. That's 3:40 Pacific Standard Time. Moment. Just right here. So those three things, very helpful. And just as I've already mentioned, just in speaking it shifts things and you feel different. And all you've done is breathe, become aware of your humanity, your being, your body, your being. Yeah. And you've shifted your thinking process into the here and now. And if you want to go a little deeper, tapping into something greater than yourself. Maybe that's something that granted you the life in the first place. And when I tap in, that inner wisdom, that inner knowing can then help me with my life make better decisions, more calm and centered decisions rather than reactionary decisions. But it's up to me. Which wolf am I going to feed? And
Yeah.
the portal is through the breath. Through the breath.
Amazing. When did you get so smart, Miss Vanessa?
It must be all the coffee I'm drinking through the years. Coffee better than tequila.
I think it's all the Ben & Jerry's you ate from me. That's what I think, all the Ben &
Oh, I
Jerry's.
did. Oh my goodness. Okay, so back in the day, that was so funny when we were roommates. Do you want to tell the story? Tell it. Go ahead.
No, okay. We worked at a restaurant, and I was coming home. I had a really bad day, and I had just gone to the store, and I bought some Ben & Jerry's cookie dough ice cream, which was my favorite at the time.
It's my favorite
So
now too.
I walked in, I don't know, who knows? It was the day at the restaurant. It was probably horrible. I opened the freezer, and it was gone. And I'm like, Vanessa, did you eat all my ice cream? She goes, yes, I ate your ice cream. So I made her, I marched her down to Rock and Ralph's on Sunset.
Rock and Ralph's. Oh my God.
We're out of cookie dough because it was the newest thing at the time. Because
They were out of the ice cream.
We had to get the brownie.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, I don't harbor that at all, obviously.
Peace, be still. That's past thinking, Michael. That's the past. Present. All is well.
No, it's Vanessa cookie dough ice cream. Always comes up in the head.
Hey.
Okay, so let's do some fun questions. Are
Sure.
you reading or binge watching anything on TV right now in your stay at home?
Do you know, I am actually not. I am not a TV person at all. Michael, I haven't owned a TV since the latter 90s. I get everything from my computer. Yeah, documentaries. I love to read. I'm poetry, okay. David White, Rumi, Hafiz, Emerson, Yeats. I love to read. Yeah. I'm a reader.
And people out at Facebook, if you have a question, please, right now is time to put it into the comment section. Okay, so you're reading, you're not watching TV, so you haven't watched anything like the Tiger Person or anything. Okay, great.
No, but I keep hearing about this thing. What is this Tiger or something?
I don't know. I don't have Netflix either.
I don't know. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it though. Yeah, for sure. So I am exercising though, minding my social distancing. Yeah, of course.
Now, are you running? Are you walking? Or what are you doing for your exercise?
Run, walk. Yeah, I'm not going to say a consistent run all the time. No, because I like to walk and talk on the phone. But every now and then I get my good run in there because I used to go and work out. There's this fabulous place called the Alpha Project, and I just started back because I love working out with weights. But then, of course, with the coronavirus, it all shut down. Weights, I love working out with weights. Yoga, of course, is fantastic. You can never go wrong with yoga. Any form of exercise is great, but it's so important to move the body right now, for sure.
Yes. I just started Jane Fonda's workout again.
Jane Fonda.
Oh my God, I was doing it in my 80s, and I got to tell you, those legs are not doing what they used to. I can't do up and over like. I was like, I remember I used to do that, and you did the scissor thing. Anyway, I don't know what to say about that.
No worries.
My 52-year-old body is not doing it anymore.
Well, we are. We are getting better with time. In some other areas.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Your mind is growing. I think mine's shrunk. So let's now, do you do private sessions and workshops? Where can people find you online and reach out to you if they need to talk to you? Do you do private sessions also?
Yes, absolutely. I work with my clients privately. Right now we're doing FaceTime, which has really been a different way to do things because I'm such a people person. However, it's very effective. It still works. And they can find me on Vanessa Guile. It's spelled like Guild, Guild. So that's VANESSA. Guile, spelled like Guild, GUILD.com, VanessaGuile.com. And I do the individual sessions, as I have mentioned, and also I'm helping with corporate there, which has been very cool as well, right? With getting on calls before the teams have a meeting, getting everyone calm and centered before the meeting transpired, especially during these times right now. You want your employees being focused in the present moment before they're making decisions for your customers. So yes, any and all of the above.
Well, because they're coming in with everything else, as we were just talking about in the beginning,
Right.
and you have to sit there and work on your stuff, on their stuff, or whatever their
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly. Coming in with the fear of the coronavirus, fear of the financials, fear of the this, and then you're supposed to do your work day and you're all caught up in the fear and the anxiety of your mind. So the meditation techniques of the breathing, it only takes 10, 15 minutes. Everyone stop, center, focus, get present, breathing, taking them through a guided meditation practice, which I'm very blessed to be able to facilitate, and I know how. And then everyone is focused to the best of their human ability to then go into the working day. It's interesting that Native American culture, they would sit before big decisions. They would all sit in a circle. And there was a philosophy there that whoever spoke first was not the wisest. Yeah, to tap in, to slow down, to be in the place of choice, listening to guidance, to wisdom, rather than quick, let me do this, let me do that, I gotta go here, I gotta go, da. That never works.
That
Never
could be
works.
a long sit around too, don't you think?
Oh, they were. Right? And then of course,
They never got anything worked out because they wanted to be the first person.
Yeah, could you imagine? 3 years later, are we ever going to decide what to do?
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for talking.
Hey, but silence is golden in appropriate times to, especially right now, to go within and to do these practices, to ask, because these are the times where we need to be making wise choices, kind choices, and also reaching out to other people. I will call 3 people a day, just be like, hey, I will call them. How are you? Right. And yeah, so anyway.
That's nice. That should, everybody should make a practice of that. And when you're in that moment, if it's, I guess, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes to do the breath thing, if you can do 15 minutes, now that we have all the time in the world, you can do an hour and a half.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. And you know what's interesting is you may find like you start for 5 minutes, and I don't quite have the word for it, but it feels so good. It feels wonderful. It's very peaceful. And then all of a sudden, like 20 minutes have gone by, right? 30 minutes have gone by. Pardon me. But what's so important is to just begin. Start with 5 minutes. The breathing technique. Inhale, exhale. If you'd like to have a mantra, I am here, I am home. There are different things you can Google for other mantras. I won't go into all of that. Or the basic 5-7 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Find what works for you.
Nice.
There are many platforms, just like there are different flavors of ice cream.
That's true. There are.
What flavor of ice cream, what flavor of practice works best for you?
My good friend Charlene Chilton, yes, I'm name dropping, told me a couple months ago, what she does is she listens to some meditation music before she goes to bed and has it playing as she goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I found I was doing it for a while. I should get back to it because there's many sleeping meditation music that I just put on my phone, have it play, and then I just go off. And it seemed to help a lot to set the mind down, because I'm always one to, in the morning, watch the news and then watch the news at the end of the day. And I need to change up because that's
absolutely, Michael. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And the reason why music is so powerful is because, think about it, when you were in your mother's womb, you would hear what? The heartbeat of your mother, the beat of your mom. What would you say? I missed it.
I said what? I don't remember.
You don't remember, but you would hear the rhythmic beat of your mother's heart.
Yes. And
her breathing. And music is one of the greatest forces on the planet. And there are frequencies actually that are very soothing, pardon me, to the mind, that when you do listen to them, and it is vitally important, do not go to sleep with the TV on, all those commercials going right into your subconscious mind. So right before you go to sleep, a powerful practice is a gratitude list. What are you grateful for? Centering yourself. If you pray, go into prayer, spend that time. I completely agree with you, Michael. Watching the news right before sleep, not a good idea. When you wake up, turn the news on right as you wake up, not a good idea. Best to put the phone down, set everything aside, pick up that spiritual literature, or do that mindfulness breathing technique just for 5 minutes. Tap into presence, tap into that zone of your mind that you had in that moment when you realized, I'm feeling so anxious. I am just not going to do this anymore. Instead, I'm going to turn some music on and I'm going to dance. I'm going to move. I'm going to change my frequency. It's so important that in the morning that you plug in to a high level frequency in the mind of compassion, of understanding, of stillness, and also before you go to sleep at night. Because if you're trying to go to sleep at night and all of a sudden you're watching death, horror, that's not, well, of course you're not going to sleep. You know what I mean? It's like peaceful. Like, so that practice of altering those things, you're spot on. It shifts everything. It's just slight change, but it does. It shifts everything. It helps a lot.
Does help. Well, Vanessa, thank you. This has been enlightening, wonderful, and just a joy.
Michael, thank you. It has been a joy, and I just love and adore you so much. And I really appreciate being able to be here with you. And it's always an honor, Mr. Mike Pingel. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
please
you.
Share with everybody where they can reach you if they want to book something privately with you.
Yep. Again, that's going to be Vanessa Guile, spell like Guild, GUILD.com. You just go right there to my website and there is a page. You just send in your information right there on the page and I'm able to reach you there, and or on Facebook. I do have a Facebook account under Corporate Mindfulness Instructor, speaker. It's a whole thing. I couldn't get a shorter thing. Just look for my name on Facebook.
I'll put the link up in
there goes the technical part. I need to get all that stuff straight. I have an Instagram, but isn't it called like a handle? My Instagram handle?
Your Instagram handle, your Facebook, your Twitter handle, yes.
I'm on Instagram. I did my first video on Instagram today, actually, promoting our show, because I was really hoping, I was like, maybe it might help somebody.
Nice.
I was like, I've never done this before, but here we go. It's all good. We got to learn.
Good job. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching the first season 4 Mike Pingel Show. I don't know who named it, but anyway, it was a good name.
Fabulous name.
Please like it, share this with your friends and neighbors and your loved ones. Please stay inside. Staying inside saves lives, and wear your face masks and social distance, and we will all get through this together. I super swear. Thank you, Vanessa, once again. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I will be back next week with a new guest. So stay tuned. Who knows? It could be, I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay. Bye.
Bye.